While I don't have any insight into the inner workings of Lucasfilm and I don't have any secret contacts at Disney, I can say with absolute certainty that the finale for Andor Season 1 will blow your mind. Now, why do I say that? It's a little bit more than a hunch. This whole entire season has proven itself over and over and over again. Now, some people still, by this point, haven't really been won over. Some people say it's just okay, and that's totally fine. I'm not telling people that they're wrong because they're not really appreciating this show for what it is. But for those of us that are appreciating this show, it's proven itself. Some of us had cautious optimism in the beginning, and by this point, we are completely sold. This show is amazing. Many of you in the comments are dreading this finale episode, not because it's going to be bad, but because it's going to mean a significant wait until we get Season 2. We're going to talk about all of that tonight, why that is, as well as some predictions for this finale episode that we're going to get in a day and a couple hours, I believe, from now. So, to everyone watching and just tuning in, if this is your first time here, welcome to Coffee on Korriban. Hello and welcome back to the show. It's very nice to be with you all here on Monday night, as I try to be every Monday night. I try to start this at 10. It doesn't work. My 3-year-old Padawan was given a little bit of trouble tonight, but they're asleep now. We're good to go. StreamYard was also hindering me in uploading, so everyone just ignore Nightbot. I haven't figured it out yet, but let's give some sips to the people that were here for the start of the stream. First one, Aussie Star Wars Nerd. Here's a sip for you. FatherTime, here's a sip for you. Charlie, here's a sip for you. Don, sip for you. Darth Maximus, here's a sip for you. Alan Copeland, here's a sip for you. Dale Erden, here's a sip for you. KG G, here's a sip for you. Ryan B, here's a sip for you. Jedi Hush, here's a sip for you. Did I get Charlie already? Anyway, here's a sip. Israel Garcia, here's a sip for you. Nova Vaughn, here's a sip for you. ScoMo, here's a sip for you. All right, we are all caught up, and that is a lot of sips. That coffee's really good. I don't even know what creamer is in there. Oh, and Medicine for Your Soul, here's a sip for you. I like the name. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully you like Star Wars, and if you do, hope you stick around. So we're going to get into, like I mentioned in the intro of this stream, we're going to get into the kind of predictions for the finale. A lot of that cautious optimism that I had going into, and a lot of other people as well had going into this show, is pretty much gone at this point. I trust that the showrunners and the writers know what they're doing with this show. We're going to talk about kind of what we've appreciated, almost like a season recap before we go into the finale. But first, the comment of the week. My favorite comment of the week is from Arc99 Angel. Andor feels like the trench run of A New Hope. Luke didn't just succeed because he was the chosen one. It was because of the rebels that paved the way to give him that chance. And I completely agree. This entire series is exactly like that. You get a snapshot of, okay, there was a lot leading up to the events that we see in A New Hope, and I had a whole video on that, saying that this show is going to be very important and very instrumental to the formation of the Rebel Alliance. And years from now, we're going to look back on it very fondly and very significantly. We're going to go Andor, Rogue One, A New Hope, and they're all going to be very important to the overall story of Star Wars. Speaking of important, let's bring in my co-host. You guys love this guy.
Oh, it is so good. That's not where it's really good.
FatherTime.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, and
Here
happy
we are.
Thanksgiving. I forgot to mention that in the intro.
Week.
Happy Thanksgiving week, and Merry Christmas, because in my house, Christmas starts the day after Halloween. So we're already in it. So how did you feel
Well, I thought
about
you were going to do a
episode?
sip for Nightbot because you skipped Nightbot in the sip for you.
Oh, all right. Nightbot, here's a sip for you. You better behave tonight.
Get it straight. Not you, Nightbot.
Okay. All right. So
Hello,
how
Charlie.
did you feel about
Charlie.
Andor episode 11, the one we got last week?
I
And
liked
everyone
it a
in the
lot.
chat, put 1 through 10. How did you feel about this past episode? So go ahead, Father Time. What did you like about it?
I think it was 8.5. 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't as high on your polls as the other people were.
Right.
I was 8. What I liked was obviously the space scene. That was insane.
Got a 9, 8, 9.5, 7.5,
9.5.
7. So this episode definitely was a little bit more divisive. Yeah. See, there's other people that say, like Ryan says, 10 out of 10 favorite episode. I'm tied between this one and 10, but this one seemed to be a little bit more divisive among fans, where there was not as much "this is amazing, this is mind-blowing," and there was a little bit more of the "yeah, that was really good" kind of crowd, which is still good, and we've got polls to back that up.
I have nothing negative to say about it. It just didn't.
Right.
I wasn't like, wow, this is the best episode. Like the Escape from Prison episode was better for me, and not just because of the action. I think because of the build up to it,
and the emotional weight.
The emotional weight of it. This one, there was so many different angles that they fit into the short time frame. I mean, we had, on the beach, we had a space battle, we had Saw, we flashed back to Bix. I mean, there was so much going on. Marvin died, and they just blew past that. So
that's true. There was so many different little. We kind of talked about this last week. Those loose ends. There are so many loose ends. We're going to kind of talk about that tonight and how they can potentially wrap up all of those, and if they even need to. But it kind of gave us little snapshots on all these characters that we've been following the whole season, saying like, hey, remember this guy? Remember this situation? Remember this place? All of this is going to come to a head in the next week's episode.
We were even with Mon Mothma. I mean, there was so many different angles in this thing.
Yeah.
It was
and to some people, I can see how that might seem kind of spread out, kind of all over the place. I didn't feel that way.
I didn't feel like they did it. It didn't feel awkward. I mean, I didn't even notice it until I'm talking about it right now, how many different angles there were.
Yeah.
I don't know. The space battle with an awesome big screen and surround sound was so good.
Oh, I bet.
It was so good.
I bet. Yeah, and a lot of people mentioned this in the comments as well. The last scene where he was on the beach looking out at the sunset was very similar to the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite movie?
That's right.
And that was a really cool detail. A couple other cool details people pointed out was that one that you pointed out, when he goes a little faster in the tractor beam, it actually pulls the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, that was so cool.
It pulls it forward.
They're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
So that's a really cool attention to detail. And then also, someone pointed out that as Luthen leaves, and we got the shot of the officer and the reflection of the destruction of the thing in the glass, that the radar dish or the tractor beam dish is in the shape of the rebellion symbol. Ooh. Which I thought was pretty cool.
I gotta go back and watch that. I've seen it twice. I didn't see that. But...
Yeah. Luthen's ship was really cool. So here's a question for everyone in chat. What did you guys think? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the lightsaber elephant in the room.
The lightsaber, not a lightsaber.
The lightsaber, not a lightsaber, out the side of the ship. I've got my own thoughts on it, but I want to hear all of you guys in the chat. And then Father Time, what did you think about those lightsabers?
I didn't think they were lightsabers. I just thought it was.
It's laser.
Maybe I thought it was the same technology. I don't know. I don't know. I was just along for the ride. I knew what they would do.
Yeah.
Chop the ships in half. I mean,
well, think about back to Attack of the Clones when we've got the Trade Federation ships, the big globe ones that are lifting off into space, and then we've got the lasers that they shine on that to blow up the ships. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not a lightsaber; it's a laser. And I was mentioning this to
were they Jedi?
The clones, yes, all of them. But I was mentioning to Mrs. Korriban the other day that the TIE fighters are so fragile. They're just mass-produced patrol vehicles, essentially. They're not all that powerful, and they don't have very good defenses. And so any kind of a high-energy beam sticking out the side of a ship, flying past it, is going to clip a fuel cell or a structure on the wing or something, and then the whole thing is exploded. So it doesn't have to be a lightsaber to cut through the ship. That was my main takeaway. So I don't think they're lightsabers. I think they're just that's a very poignant way to put it. It was red, so Luthen is a Sith. To that I would reply, only a Sith deals in absolutes. So the Fandor is up there with the best Star Wars ships. I agree. It's such a fascinating
Well, wait a
ship.
minute. Doesn't Luthen have a kyber crystal? We know that.
Yeah, the blue kyber.
Did he get it back? Did he get back?
Yeah, so let's talk
It was given
about...
to someone to give it back to him.
Ooh, here's a good idea. Kyber crystals probably power his ship. It's a very interesting idea. So
one thing you didn't mention in your video, if I can.
Sure.
When he went back to his bungalow to retrieve his coin, he opened the manifesto. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about it, though.
But
he still got it.
I want it.
Well, he still got it, so
it's
there. Because he never wanted it. Now he's actually holding on to it. So.
Yeah, so that's another loose end that we need to see where it goes, is the manifesto. We know it's important. It wouldn't have been handed to him at Nemik's death if it wasn't important. We just need to see how it comes into play. And maybe that's a season 2
never hear about it again.
and so that's kind of what I was talking about was this last live stream I was telling about this? I don't remember, but it feels like there's a lot of these loose ends, and I'm okay with them not all satisfying. I think it was my reaction.
I need one, unless I missed it.
One to satisfy?
Yeah. What in the heck are they building in the prison?
Oh, I think I didn't watch any videos on it, but I think people were talking about those are like the connector pieces for the wings of the TIE fighters. And so they're just building TIE fighters. I think that's what I didn't watch videos.
I don't know. I just want to know what they are.
And that's another thing
need
about
a lot
this
of them,
series,
apparently.
Is I have kind of stayed away from YouTube on the viewing side of things with this show to kind of keep my experience isolated, so to speak. I haven't been watching a whole lot of the breakdowns or the Easter eggs or what does this scene mean. I've just kind of been trying to take it all in without that influence, watching all the way through until we get this last episode. And then I'll probably go back and really dig into the Easter eggs for a greater appreciation of it. But yeah, that is a very interesting Easter egg.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what my initial thought was, is they're just building connector pieces for the Death Star or something.
They need a lot of them.
Yeah, they would. They absolutely would. What do you guys think in chat? What are they building with those the things they were building in the prison? And maybe that's common knowledge that we're already supposed to know what those are.
Death Star. We've got the power
parts
diverters.
Of the Death Star. Power diverters from Tashi Station. Oh, it has some power. Like as part of the thing they were building. It's very apparent. Well, Dave, fill us in.
Load me with knowledge.
All right. So let's talk about some of the characters and what they're doing. There's a poll that I put up. Let's reference that.
Strats. Yeah.
Let's see. It was one of these ones. I think it was this one. The question was, who will die in the Andor Season 1 finale? Now, again, I've been trying to stay away from news about this shows and leaks and everything. I've just been kind of avoiding all of that. So I don't know if any of these actors are officially signed on for Season 2.
All right. So know. Tom just took the wind out of my sails. I'm not going to get my loose end. Okay. It's coming. I'm okay with that. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Sure. I'm sure it very possibly could be Death Star components. And I would have no problem with that. I'm sure it's important, and we'll find out
go
later.
Back to your poll.
So this poll was, who will die in the Andor Season 1 finale? 9,500 votes, and 52% said Bix had it coming. And then followed up by 26% said Luthen, 16% said Cyril Karn, and 6% said Dedra Miro. So do we think Bix is going to die? Let's talk about her first. She's not good already. Like, she's not doing well.
She's so messed up. They did a good job making her look trashed.
Yeah, they really did.
Really
I said
bad.
that my reaction was just like, oh, that's not good. Yeah. That doesn't look good at all. So what do we think is going to happen to her? Now, a lot of people have been speculating, is she going to die essentially right in front of Cassian or in his arms? And that's what finally pushes him over the edge to join the rebellion. What is the likelihood of that? And what do we think actually is in store for her character?
I like that. I think Cyril's going to be around for a while, and he's got his own little journey that we have to follow.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if he gets taken out in this episode. Yeah. But for story purposes, he was just the guy that was just there. We were following him, and he never really played an instrumental role, but he's an example of someone who would actually exist in that Star Wars universe. And so for that aspect, his character was cool.
Though. He's on a mission for something.
So do we think he's going to play a major part in season 2?
I think he's going to step up. Yeah, I do. Okay. Based on nothing.
Dale says only Pac dies. Somehow. Bix returned. Yeah. None of the above. They all survive.
The opposite of Rogue One. Everybody lives.
Yeah, everyone survives. Yeah. That would be something no one else saw coming. Speaking of something no one else saw coming, I just wanted to say real quick that we earlier today crossed 500,000 total views on this channel, which is just insane. Like that's such a weird number to think about. But we just passed 500,000 views. So thank you to everyone who is watching this stuff, because I hope you enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun making it for you guys. And especially the sense of community and the comments you guys have been putting, especially in Discord as well. It's been a lot of fun. So thanks for that. So what do we think about Luthen? Is he going to die in this episode?
You could have put Andor in there. Cassian. And see if people click on it.
You would be surprised how many comments there were saying, like, why isn't Andor on this poll? I don't know if you're joking or not.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
That would have been funny.
But what do we think about Luthen? What are his chances of dying in this? And do we think he's going to be a major force? I think
the rebellion's bigger than Luthen now. And so if he does, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's played his part.
He's still
I
pulling some big strings, but it's in motion.
Right. The machine is moving without his presence being needed. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think he's played his part. He's sacrificed his life for this so far. He's gotten the other players to where they need to be. And so if he gets taken out, he will have left his mark. And a couple comments said in a few videos ago, he'll never be remembered. We don't see him in Andor or in Rogue One or A New Hope. We never see him in those other later projects, partly because Stellan wasn't in Star Wars at that time. But also because his character is kind of born to be sacrificed and to play in the shadows. Mm-hmm. He's not a forefront character in the rebellion. Now, there was another theory I heard floated around that he's working directly with Emperor Palpatine. And so similar to how Palpatine played both sides of the Clone Wars, is Palpatine acknowledging that there is going to be a rebel effort and he's trying to get out in front of it and have an inside man?
No, I don't see that.
No. Let's catch up on some chats. You guys are
going crazy.
Yeah, ignore Nightbot. I don't know what he's doing.
Bix signed up for season 2. Okay.
Yeah, a couple people commented that as well.
So maybe that was Sean Stretton. So maybe she's not gonna. I mean, she's trashed already. She's of no use to a lot of different individuals.
I can imagine that would take a lot of rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And also, Sean, first time seeing you here. He's just it for you. But she's not in a good place. It's all pure psychological torture. It's white torture.
I thought that was cool. Side note, I thought that was cool. When you die, if you're a big name in Ferrix, you get mixed in with the ground and built
The
into
bricks,
a wall.
really cool world building aspect of it. And that's the most fascinating thing about Star Wars in general to me is there's so many worlds, each with the potential of having their own culture, their own history. I mean, think about just even Tatooine. It used to be lush forests before, everything happened.
Yeah, we got the
Thousands of
Sand
years
People in
before
Boba
that.
Fett. We learned all about them.
Yeah, and if nothing else from Boba Fett, we learned about the culture of the Tusken Raiders.
Yep.
That's so cool. And some people might not even care about that. But that fascinates me, and I'm appreciating it. Ozzy says, I hope Cyril dies so that they can't screw up his character with the stuff between him and Dedra. I just want to know what he's up to.
He doesn't want his job back. It doesn't feel like he's trying to get his job back. He's trying to right the wrong or clear his name. I think that's all I see from his angle.
It's almost like he doesn't even care as much about clearing his name as it is for clearing his name in regards to justice. Like, I wasn't able to get the job done then, and so now I have to put in the extra effort to correct that because it's the right thing to do.
Does he think he's still in the Imperial Army?
I don't know.
I think he does.
Who's Uncle Harlow?
Yeah. Oh. Luzanne.
I have no idea. So, going to the other characters on this list. Cyril Karn, we're kind of talking about him. Does he die in this episode? Or do you think he comes in to play a major part? Does he become someone like an Agent Callus? I know you haven't seen Rebels. But does he essentially defect and join the rebellion at some point? What do you think about that?
I used to think that. I don't think that anymore.
He's too devoted to justice.
Yeah, he's so focused. He's so narrow in what he's trying to do right now. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's doing something very narrow.
Yeah.
Narrow focused.
Real quick, I'm curious. Everyone watching, is there a super chat button? I'm not asking you to super chat. I just don't know if it's working or not because I'm new to all this YouTube stuff, and I don't know if it's turned on or working. Okay, awesome. That's all I was concerned about. Also, I was supposed to do a giveaway at 2,000 subscribers, so I'll give away a mug to someone tonight. Someone being very thoughtful and engaging in the chat. I'll give away a mustache mug.
Just for you.
Yeah, just to someone. Cyril dressed up as one of the Death Troopers, and he rescues Dead. As he rescues Dedra, she asks who he is. He pulls off his helmet and says, "Someone who loves you." I love it.
That's I love it. Funny. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. That would be really funny. Cool. Well, I'm glad that's working. Let's see. Who else do we have on our list? Dedra. What is the likelihood she dies? Or do we think you don't think she dies?
I don't think so. That's why she's got the lowest votes. Nobody else does either.
So
I think I think she's on a path to power. I don't think they're going to take that away from her.
So you think she's going to be a major player in season 2?
She's going to be a player. Yeah.
Okay. I would love if they involved Tarkin in season 2. Especially getting closer to A New Hope. I really want to see maybe his rise to power, how he really takes command over the other segments of the army. I would really love to see that. So we don't think Dedra's going to die.
No, but we do think Dawn did a 99-cent super sticker.
Oh, I can see it. It's highlighted. Well, thank you very much. I don't have a special video to play you, but let's see. Let me find something. Matt Cave can do it for you.
Nice.
Here's a sip for you. I greatly appreciate it. Well, thank you very much. I really don't have anything special to do for that. I got to get some special videos in that for super chats and super stickers. But anyway, let's pull up another poll because I had a few from this last week that were very interesting. This next one I posted a couple hours ago. It says, "How excited are you for the Andor season 1 finale?" And I'll extend this question to everyone in chat as well. Of the 4,000 votes as of 3 hours after posting, 78% said beyond hyped. Not even just I can't wait, beyond hyped. And I would put myself in that category as well. I'm stoked for it.
I'm very excited, but I'm sad because I remember going, man, we got so many more episodes to go. We've seen 3. They're great. We got 9 more, and now here we are.
Yeah. I remember we were talking about that after episode 6 is like, we've gotten so much and we're only halfway done.
Yeah, here we are at the end.
And now, we got like 28 hours to go or something like that. That's not a good thought. A lot of people were commenting that as well, saying the only thing I'm dreading about this
is KG, that's me right there. I don't want it to end. Nova's can't wait.
Put down can't wait.
I think there will be a lot of loose ends. I think there will be a lot of loose ends tied up.
Hyped.
But
I
not
do as well.
all of them.
I do as well. I think
we'll get some.
Awesome. I think this is the first time seeing you here. Here's a sip for you.
Hello, Ralph.
If you're new to the channel, I hope you are enjoying me my stuff that I make, because I enjoy making it. Yeah, Sean's hyped. Everyone else hyped.
Daryl's looking forward to it.
Oh, Daryl, here's a sip for you. It's good to see you.
I haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
I know. Thanks for stopping by. So,
wait, when's season 2 air?
I don't think we have a release date. I think it's in filming. I think they began production. Someone in chat correct me if I'm wrong. I think that they began production.
Yeah, Nova, I'm with you on that one for sure. I've been watching a couple episodes here and there multiple times, but I can't wait to do the start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Especially by arcs, because now we know which episodes are in their little arcs. So we can, the whole prison arc, we can watch those back to back and get all the little details that we missed the first time. Kay says 2 years at least. I would expect
so bad.
I would expect that. Yeah, and I've seen
like Earth years. Like, is that what we're talking about here? Earth years. I've seen not good.
Earth years. I've seen a lot of polls just in the last few days that the question for the poll was, and this is on multiple channels I've seen this, what show are you most excited for? As of a couple months ago, Mandalorian 3 was the only option. But now I think it was like 60% of the vote or something. 50 or 60 said Andor season 2. And then the next highest one was Mandalorian season 3. So that's pretty crazy that people right now, this show is hitting them so hard that all they want above anything else is the next season of this show, not even the one that's going to come out in a few months. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. Let's give an extra special shout out to all the people that caught the secret code word in the video this last week. So that is Fedorov 100, Aussie Star Wars Nerd, Aiden S, Charlie, Nova Vaughn, Obviously Subdued, Vanishing Golem, Andy B, FatherTime, and Sus T. Thank you for paying extra special attention to the videos, so there is an extra special shout out for you. I'm giving out a lot of sips tonight. I don't have a video to play for that.
Surprise! Bantha.
Surprise.
Bantha. I still just love that whole video we made.
Yeah, it was actually good.
Hot froth.
Hot froth.
It is really good. Hot froth is fantastic. Andor confidently walks into the ISB and smuggles Dedra out under his cloak. Adria. In reality, Andrew, once she has given all the information the ISBD to him, she will probably execute it. Maybe Bix? Is that the actress for Bix? Is Adria? I don't remember. All right. So let's break this up with the news segment for tonight. This is news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
So I saw an article. Rather, Mrs. Korriban sent me an article, and she said, I don't know what this is about, but this is weird. So the title of this article, and it's from Screen Rant. So that's how you know it's a good article. The title of the article is Luthen's ship destroys the Millennium Falcon. And I was just thinking, I don't know what I'm supposed to think about that. Because obviously the Millennium Falcon and the Fandor haven't come into contact with each other. So how could it destroy the Millennium Falcon? Yeah, I'm just confused. Again, that title, Luthen's ship destroys the Millennium Falcon. So getting into this article, they say Andor's Luthen Rail officially has one of the most impressive ships in the Star Wars galaxy, rivaling the Millennium Falcon when it comes to the Imperial evasion and combat. In Andor Episode 11, Luthen is caught by an Arrestor-class Star Destroyer with the intention of inspecting his ship, the Fonder. However, Rail deploys a series of surprisingly epic countermeasures that make the Falcon's modifications look tame by comparison. And this is the point in the article that I realized, oh, so it doesn't actually destroy the Millennium Falcon. They're just saying it's better than.
Dude, he destroyed him.
Okay. So they go on to say, earlier episodes of Andor, such as Episode 4, saw Cassian quite surprised by Luthen's ship having flown similar hullcraft in the past. Cassian notes the ship's immense power, as well as the unique droid mod capable of calculating safe and unmonitored routes through hyperspace, an incredibly useful and most likely illegal means of traveling the galaxy under radar without piquing the interest of the Empire. However, Andor in Episode 11 shows just how formidable the Fandor can be when cornered. So it's just an article for clicks. They're not really telling us anything.
And you clicked.
And I clicked and I read the whole thing.
Tom confirmed your Adria Plays Picks.
Okay.
You read the whole thing. And there was no destruction of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, there was no destruction. I was expecting, like, what? Was this a deleted scene that I didn't see? What's going on? But they continue. Considering all of its unique capabilities, it stands to reason that the Fonder was more than likely a custom-built Hallcraft purchased by Luthen for the exact purpose it's being used for in Andor. In comparison, the Millennium Falcon was a normal Corellian freighter that was continually being modified for the purpose of smuggling. While it does feature the above-average weapon system and unique droid brains similar to the Fonder, neither Lando nor Han modified the Millennium Falcon with the Resistance in mind, at least not originally in the Star Wars galaxy. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, they are comparing a Land Cruiser with a Porsche and saying the Porsche destroys the Land Cruiser because it's faster. That's essentially what they're saying. They're built for two totally different purposes, but they're saying this one destroys the other one.
In one scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of felt like I wasted about 5 minutes of my life. And so all of you guys have wasted 5 minutes of your life. Everyone in here in chat, you wasted 5 minutes of your life because Luthen's ship did not, in fact, destroy the Millennium Falcon.
Well, who was the source on that article, by the way?
Who was the source? I don't even think I cared. I don't even know who wrote it. But that's
no, not who wrote it. Like, where'd you find it?
Screen Rant.
Oh,
just popped up. And Mrs. Korriban sent it to me, and she's like, "I don't think this sounds right. What do you think about this?" So thank you, everyone, for letting me waste your time. This has been the news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
Nice. Excellent news.
It's just a waste of time.
I read an article today about Gilroy. There was an interview with Gilroy. It was really interesting.
What was the crux of that?
Chasing not fans, but chasing viewers.
That's another thing we can talk about. Is there was a discussion in one of the comment sections somewhere that was talking about. I think it was in Discord. They were talking about, and if anyone of you in chat were the people that were talking about that, feel free to chime in. mentioning how Andor started with bad reviews because it was just what people were, they weren't expecting what we got in this show. They were expecting something totally different along the same lines as Mandalorian, and it caught people off guard. So their early reviews were bad. And so a lot of people didn't choose to watch it because they heard, oh, this show isn't that good. Maybe I'm not going to tune into it. But as the season progressed, the word of mouth saying like, hey, actually, this thing is really good. You got to check this out. Even to very casual Star Wars fans that have maybe only watched a couple of the main movies. And so those people are now coming in, and the ratings for this show are fantastic. Not in terms of viewership. The viewership is still really low. And I think it was Root Beer on Ryloth that was making this point in Discord. But the ratings for this show are so much higher than like She-Hulk and everything else. Star Wars addresses Andor's lower viewership. Yeah,
that was the article.
That's basically what I'm getting at, is the viewership is lower for this, in part because of that also elusive Star Wars fatigue that we heard about after the sequels. And people are tired of Star Wars. Now, fans are never going to be tired of Star Wars, but what they will get burned out on is poorly executed shows. I think that's what the show is suffering from. Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor. Oh, great. Another show they're going to do terrible. And it's about that Cassian guy that I don't even care about. He was that one guy from Rogue One. And so I think a lot of people just kind of skipped out on this show. But after it's all out, all of them probably have Disney Plus subscriptions anyway. They hear all their friends talking about how awesome this show is. Now they have access to all 12 episodes right off the bat. They're going to go back and check it out. So I think it's going to.
Yeah, I think Aisha's comment sums it up.
Grow.
Aisha's comment sums it up, and I haven't seen her name before, so welcome.
Yep, here's a sip for you. I've always watched Star Wars as a passerby, but this show is the best I've seen. It hooked me. So nuanced and superbly written, high-minded as fish. And I've seen a lot of comments of the same vein. Like, I watched the Star Wars movies when I was a kid, but never even came back to them. I wouldn't have even considered myself a Star Wars fan, but this show has made me have a desire to look into the deeper lore and figure out actually what's going on. One commenter, like last week or something, said, I've never even watched a single Star Wars thing before, but someone told me this show was good, and I'm loving it now. And now I got to go back and watch the original movies.
Same thing with Derpy. Welcome.
Welcome. I haven't seen you here before. You say you're new, so welcome. Appreciate it. Andor is better than Mando for it being different than regular Star Wars.
I think that was what originally turned people off from not wanting to view it, because they saw some of the trailers and they're like, that's not Star Wars. But it's the real deal. It's more real Star Wars. I said this last week. It's more real Star Wars to me than, flashy lightsabers and stuff. I mean, that's part of it, but this is the real deal. I think to me, because I like Rogue One, that's my favorite movie. And it's the same feel, it's the same story into Rogue One. That's not traditional Star Wars. Whatever that means.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's not traditional Star Wars. And if you're looking for the hero's journey, friends and family, and we support each other and we can take down the Empire together, whatever we've gotten in the past, that's not this. Even the prequels with the big players and the two sides of the war and the different politics and different governmental factions, it's not that either. This is the dark underground, the reasons behind why everything works the way it does in the universe. So it's a very different take on the galaxy far, far away. But at the same time, if you ask yourself, does this fit in the Star Wars universe? Is there anything out of place here? The answer is no. So then if that's the case, your problem was with the storytelling and not with the actual story that's being told.
Yeah.
You have a problem with the methods that they're using to convey their story, and not actually with what's taking place.
Aiden says, by the way, he's Root Beer and Ryloth. That's probably in the Discord server. I think I was chatting with him Friday afternoon when I was leaving work.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a funny thing about Discord is, and everyone, Discord link is in chat if you want to join there and continue the conversation. But
It's a
Discord,
great
everyone
community
has
in there, by
different
the way.
names than
Yeah,
YouTube.
it makes it confusing.
But I don't know. We're all fans of this. Aisha says it's not a fair comparison. Mandalorian is a periodical mostly that is easier to make every episode to take up a small plot from start to finish, like a CSI show, or Andor is different. Yeah,
And we've talked about that
totally
before.
right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the
break down on a
episodes
planet, fix the thing, solve the puzzle,
take
and
off.
move on to the next episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe one episode ties into the second episode.
Yeah.
And there's kind of an overarching theme to the whole season. Andor is a movie, but drawn out into 12 parts. A very long movie drawn out into 12 parts. I'll have to do some calculations after we get this finale on the actual runtime of the whole season. I'd be willing to bet it's like 3 full movies worth.
It would be fun to sync them together without any cuts and just watch it straight through.
And you know,
or at
those
least
edits
into
are coming.
The arcs. Yeah, those edits are coming, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's why the Acolyte is interesting for its position, whatever they do with it, which is why I'm nervous it'll end up being a sequels type. From what I heard, it's High Republic, so we'll see, I guess. I have no problem with the High Republic as a time period. And of course, we hear the weird stuff about the High Republic books and certain characters in there, like the Rock Jedi. There's an actual Rock Jedi, in case you didn't know, in the books. But I'm kind of at the point in my own personal Star Wars journey where I'm not putting too much emphasis into the things that are coming out like a lot of other people are. Oh, if this is bad, I'm done with Star Wars. It's like, no, you're not. You're going to still watch the original movies and you've got your little collectibles. So be serious. Yeah, Geode was his name, the Rock Jedi. Or Rock Force User, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I should read the book and check it out.
Jedi wannabe.
But even with the rumors of this person's directing this project and they're a woke person or whatever, I'm not really caring all that much. If it comes out and it's bad, I'll call it out. If it comes out and it's good, I'm going to enjoy it. I don't want preconceptions to taint my viewership experience. It was another conversation I was having with another chatter the other day about there are people that have, blinded themselves because of their hate for either Disney or Book of Boba Fett. They're letting that outside influence affect the way that they're enjoying this show. They're not even letting themselves have a chance to watch it with an open mind because they pick apart every single little scene in a negative light and then they can't enjoy anything.
I enjoyed the parts of Boba Fett that weren't goofy joke stuff.
And Obsession, you're welcome to join always. You know that. So if you want to join and you're free, then let me know. Here's a sip for you. Continue.
Oh, I said I enjoyed parts of Book of Boba Fett, just not the goofy joke stuff. And then if they had left that junk out, I would have been really happy with it.
Yeah. And I think we proved that also with the Matt Cave edit of The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi obviously is probably the most hated movie of all of Star Wars. A lot of people would say that it's not a
Doesn't count.
Like a bantha.
Surprise! Bantha. Surprise! Bantha.
We need to play it twice, but there you go.
I didn't need to play it twice.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Derpy50 first. That's a cool name. I like it. What was I even saying? Was I reading a comment? I don't know. Let's talk about another poll.
No, you were talking about the Matt Cave edit.
Oh, yes. Matt Cave edit of The Last Jedi. So a lot of people are going to say that The Last Jedi is the worst movie, shouldn't have even been made, shouldn't have existed. There are no redeeming qualities about it. Matt Cave, the other co-host that's on here a lot of the times, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Excellent beard. He re-edited The Last Jedi and took out Canto Bight entirely, took out Holdo entirely, the Codebreaker entirely, all the stuff that makes Luke look bad, the throwing the lightsaber over the shoulder, all of the stuff that made us dislike that movie, he removed. And what was left was actually really good. There's a really good high quality story in The Last Jedi, but it's so covered up with all the junk that it's hard to see past that. And so now, after having watched his edit, I get why people like that movie. The Last Jedi. I understand why people like it. And I really do like his edited version of it, but not the theatrical release. And I don't think I'll ever
Angus 79
like that.
says what was left 5 minutes. The 5-minute edit.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Actually, it was okay. So The Last Jedi, I think, is the longest of all the movies. So there was quite a bit of runtime left, maybe like an hour and 40 minutes still. But it worked. There's a lot of really good stuff about that movie, but you can't even notice it because it's covered up with the blasphemous Luke tossing the lightsaber over his shoulder and just weird stuff and the Holdo maneuver. And with all that taken out, it's a much better product. And so that's what you were saying about Book of Boba Fett. There's a lot of really awesome stuff in it, especially with Obi-Wan Kenobi. A lot of really cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
But just covered up with kind of this dressing of bad tasting frosting.
It's felt like even in Kenobi, they took a stab at getting more intellectual and higher level quality storyline when they were doing like the before scenes between them and then playing it out in the real fight later on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was no goofy stuff in there, and I think I don't know. They just were trying a little bit to get the adult storyline, but this whole thing is adult storyline, which is great.
Yeah, I cannot really think of a single example of a cringy scene in Andor or something that makes me think, why did they put that in there? It's all been very high caliber. It takes itself seriously, I think, is the big takeaway from it.
Yeah. I can't think of one. I'm going through all of them.
Here's a question. Do you cut the Vespa chase scene or do you speed it up?
Oh, it's gotta be cut. It's so gotta be cut.
Yeah. And the spin move. Do you remember the spin move in Book of Boba Fett?
No.
You don't remember the spin move?
What was the spin move?
I'll send it to you afterwards. You guys in chat know what I'm talking about. The most pointless move in all of Star Wars in the Book of Boba Fett. It's bad. I'll show you later.
I thought it was the mechanic lady in every episode of whatever she was in.
I don't think that fatigue is a big hurdle. It's name recognition. In a month, a show named Ahsoka airs. Will you watch it? What led you to answer the question with a fast yes? She'd prove it. Yeah, that's a big issue with this show, is that it was named Andor. And there's been suggestions of, it should have been called, Rebellion Rising. It should have been called Rise of the Rebellion or something along those lines. They spin now. Put the spin move in a super chat. I totally should. Trust me, I'll edit something. I'll make it fun. But
I remember the line they spin now, but I can't remember what it was that was spinning.
No, it was "They fly now" was the line. They fly now. They fly
what was
now.
It? What flies?
The jet troopers.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like we've had jetpacks for years before this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got two more polls to kind of finish up on. This one says it was just kind of talk about Andor 11. A lot of people said amazing, and only 12% said best one yet. And there's your face.
There it is.
Let's see which way. This.
Other way. There you go.
It's so confusing with this screen flip.
I know.
I never know which way I'm looking. And then our last poll to finish up is, what is the best Star Wars content of the Disney era? This is the poll one we were watching last week to see how it would finish. After 12,000 votes, Andor is 63% of the vote for the best Star Wars content of the Disney era.
That's a lot of votes. That is a lot of votes.
Now, I'm going to redo this poll but also I'm going to take out the sequels because obviously 1%. And then I'm going to take out Rogue One because that was only 13%. And I think I'm going to have Andor, Mandalorian, Rebels, and then Clone Wars Season 7. Because those were a lot of the comments saying that was their favorite of the Disney era. So we'll have to include that in a future
options
poll.
of I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Where is that? There it is.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. All right. Yeah, 1% of you are all wrong. Sequels got a vote. Yeah, let's see. Here's a question for everyone in chat as we start to wrap this up. How excited are you for this finale episode 1 through 10? What is your excitement level? 10 being you wish it was here now. You're going to pause everything as soon as it comes out. You're going to wake up at 2 a.m. and you're going to watch it. So everyone put in the chat how you feel about that. How excited are you?
I'm really excited. I'm not going to stay up till midnight, but I don't want any spoilers. So I'm off all week. I'll probably watch it. But I don't like watching it in the day. I like watching it at night. I don't know.
Yeah, there's another thing. People that were able to preview the finale say that it's just incredible. It's mind-blowing, phenomenal. I've seen thumbnails, but again, I've been kind of trying to stay away.
Yeah, it's hard
from any leaks because there's been a lot of junk surrounding this show saying like, oh, it's so woke. The creators are making the Empire a stand-in for so-and-so's presidency, and I don't see it. But I can imagine if I were reading those articles and watching those videos, I might.
I think going back to your comment, I don't know if it was a video or the watch party, I don't know, whatever it was. You were saying that you have no hesitation trusting the writers now at this point. No hesitation. So that's where I am with this finale. I'm just like, I know whatever they're going to give us is going to be great. So I have no idea what they're going to do, how they're going to put it together, which ties they're going to, tighten up loose ends. But I trust what they're going to do, and I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
So
well, let's quickly recap some of those loose ends. We want to figure out the TIE Fighter or Death Star connector pieces in the prison, but that's probably going to be a season 2 thing. Bix is not doing well.
Nope.
And does she die or does she
a lot
get
of loose ends are going to meet up on Ferrix.
It's all coming back to Ferrix.
Except for Mon. I don't know that she has anything to do with Ferrix.
No, and that's another loose end. Is the whole payment auditing thing. She's the IRS is becoming the ISB or the other way around or whatever. Yes, thank you. Delicately tap that like button if you feel so inclined. And if you're not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it. But I hope you enjoy your time here. Tom Jensen says 11. Andor isn't that woke. It's definitely not as woke as Marvel is. And I've noticed things here and there in this show that I personally would have left out. But it's not proselytizing to, I think that's the right word, to its audience or conveying a message. And it's definitely not putting the ideology above the quality. I saw a meme a long time ago that said, we demand equality, but the EQ was crossed out, or the E was crossed out. I just said, we demand quality. It's like, all we care about is a good product.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that they're allowing that to be the forefront of this show and not any, I don't care what the personal beliefs of the people that make the thing are. This is Star Wars. It's an escape. I just want it to be fun. So
let's see. I'm going to the chat here. What do we got?
Episode 12 might open with Pac being hanged in the streets in a parallel to Cassian's adoptive father.
Just Cassian's little sister. We haven't had him chase his sister down in a long time.
Yeah, since like episode.
But I don't want to say he gave
2.
up on that.
He's got bigger fish to fry at this point.
Yeah.
Because he just got out of the prison and found out his mom is not alive anymore.
Yeah, he's messed up right now.
He's
messed up.
Vulnerable.
That's where we left him off. Is mentally mentally challenged with the death of his mother.
And then he's going to go back to Ferrix and find out that Bix is not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And something's going to set him over the edge. So what would you personally like to see out of this episode before it wraps up for 2 years until the next season?
Something definitely concrete with the rebellion. I mean, there's so many little tiny pieces that are just floating out there. With Saw, I saw an article, I don't remember when it was, a couple of days ago, that he plays a really big role in the rebellion, and we just haven't seen how he kind of fits into that yet. So there's all these little rebel factions. They keep mentioning names. I just want something. I would like to see something concrete of like where the rebellion is, like who's heading it up. We know Mon is going to be in charge of stuff, but I'd like to see something point in that direction.
That's a very good point, because the whole point of the show is
Luthen dies and Mon says, "Let's go. I'm in charge now." There you go.
Could be. But I think, and I mentioned this a few videos ago, the rebellion is its own character. It's a non-character at the beginning of this season. Rebel factions scattered across the galaxy, only joined by their general dislike of the Empire. But then we get the Rebel Alliance, a totally unified force and collection of systems in A New Hope and the original trilogy movies. And so how do we go from here to there? We definitely need a jumping off point that tells us, okay, the rebellion has started. Because as of right now, it's Aldhani was kind of the first little spark to light the flame, but there's no cohesive effort. So what I want out of this last episode is something that tells us, the audience, this is when the rebellion started. This moment right here is when it went from this to that.
We have to get that, because in Rogue One, the Rebel Alliance is they're hooked up. They've got equipment, they've got leadership, they've got a lot. They've got intelligence, they've got spies, they've got a lot of stuff.
Which is why we have season 2 to explain all that. I mean, season 2 is going to cover that 4-year gap between 4 BBY and then right up to Rogue One. So that can be the gathering resources, the getting everything together, the establishing of that. But I definitely think by the end of this finale episode, we need to see the moment the rebellion starts. Not just a small battle.
If we get the Marva's robot blown up, I'm going to be bad. I'm mad.
Yeah, Brasso.
What's the robot's name?
B2 Emo.
Yeah, if he gets blown up, I'll be sad.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
I want my Marva.
Yeah, can you imagine if he says some like final last words to Cassian and then gets blown up?
Don't do that.
We already get annoyed whenever we see a gonk droid in the background that gets blown up and we feel sad.
Burning his
feet.
Imagine that started with burning feet on the droids.
Oh yeah, back in Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
Yep. That will make me hate the Empire even more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What do we think about?
Though. We know that from this series. They're vicious.
Yep.
And they've always been poised and ready to display their power.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Climb, Cassian. Don't say that. Oh, I will. I'll throw my headphones. Actually, no, I won't, because these are hard to find. Seriously, these ones, like if you want to buy a new pair of these, they're like $600. They're crazy expensive. They're not worth that. They're like $60 headphones. They're just really hard to find. But I think the last question I had before we close it down for the night, do we even want any high profile names to show up? Like Leia, people were commenting that. Do we want any cameos or appearances? Maybe
I think
in a
that would throw me for
scene?
a loop if it did, personally.
I think if they're going to do that, I would like a post-credit scene with maybe Palpatine addressing the Imperial Senate, mentioning the rebellion and saying there's a concerted effort to overthrow the government. We must rise together and stop this. That would be a cool example of a cameo as a post-credit scene. But I don't want anyone swooping in and saying, I'm Leia. I'm here to rescue you.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that. Yeah, no need for a
For cameo. Yeah.
Yeah, someone like Bail Organa could come in, but I don't know. Yeah, no. Darth Jar Jar, Palpatine cameo. That's about it. Or Tarkin. Like maybe we get a shot of Tarkin as the big bad
Maybe
guy.
we get his voice
hint
with a
for
shadow.
season
They don't
2.
have to worry about CGI or anything.
Right. Yep. The Imperial Senate will no longer be of concern to us, gentlemen. Fear will keep the local systems in line.
Sounds like he
Guys,
did the voice
so cool.
for News from the Stars.
Oh yeah. News from the stars. Yeah. Tarkin, Krennic.
Krennic would be cool.
And
I would
this-
like to see Krennic.
Yeah, and this goes back to what I said as final thoughts as we wrap this up. What I said at the very beginning. I am confident that they know what they're doing by this point. I haven't seen a whole lot of questionable decisions, and so if they were to bring in a big name player, I'm confident that they'll do it the right way. I don't have a whole lot of hesitation with that thought. I'm not really concerned with that as much. So everyone in chat, I really appreciate you guys all being here tonight. FatherTime, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, it is.
Good to talk to you. I'm really excited, and I guess we'll see everyone on the other side. So everyone that came by and stopped here tonight, I've appreciated all of your input. You guys have been just the coolest commenters in all the comment sections in the chat. You guys have been just so thorough. I don't, but here's a sip for you. Thanks for being here. Do you think Luthen might have a darker side? Definitely a possibility. Ignore Nightbot, please. Admiral Akbar. Chile. Cool. Here's a sip for you. Awesome. I'm glad you're here. This show, I'll finish with this. This show has attracted the exact right community that I've wanted for this community, for this channel. The people that are, the more analytical minds, that they look at things, they like to dissect it and figure out why. That's always been the point of my channel, is let's figure out why we like this stuff, as opposed to just screaming about how awesome it is or doing deep dives on a particular character or event. That's not really my niche. But thinking rationally and putting into words how we're feeling about stuff, you guys have been fantastic on that in the comment section, in the chat. So I really appreciate all of you guys stopping here tonight. And we'll see you on the other side. I'm pretty confident that this finale is going to be incredible. And we're going to be back here next Monday night talking about it. And I think our minds are going to be blown. Pretty confident.
And crying because we have to wait 2 Earth years.
And crying because B2 had a sad death.
Oh, no.
That's going to be the secret word. So secret code word. Go and put... what should I have him put in chat?
Finale.
Or in... No, not a secret code word. Like a phrase. Yeah, writing was the secret code word for the extra special shout out. But... let's see, what should we have him comment on the video? Not in chat, in comments.
Wow.
I don't know. Like a bantha? I don't know.
At least you didn't do my R2D2 clip.
I know. I forgot to clip that. I didn't have time.
Horrible.
Who wants to lick the batter?
Oh.
Who wants to lick the...
Why do I keep playing it twice? I don't know. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. If you've been here from the very beginning of the video, or the stream rather, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.